Officially done with nursing school. Oh my god. Now it's definitely time to celebrate. It's honors and pinning day. I'm so excited. Today when I look at my fellow students, I can confidently say I see a courageous class of determined individuals who I believe are ready to embark on their journey in the nursing profession.
Congratulations, Kristen!
Congratulations, honey.
Congratulations.
Muchas felicidades, mi amor.
Gracias.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Kristen, and for the first time on my channel, I get to announce myself as a graduate nurse. How exciting is that? The only video that made sense to film and put up this week was all about my graduation party, honors and pinning. And then I really just wanted to go ahead and do a reflection on my last semester and kind of incorporate how I feel like I've transformed throughout my nursing program. So if you are interested in wondering how my whole experience went, just go ahead and keep watching. But I do have to say, we do have to rewind it back to the beginning just so y'all get a good idea of how my whole entire nursing program went.
Hi, this message is for Kristen, University's ABSN program. I'm just reaching out to you today, wanting to follow up and see if you had any questions about the decision or the next step.
Hey everyone, my name is Kristen. I'm currently a second semester nursing student in my third semester of nursing school, fourth and final semester of nursing school. Today was my very first clinical, well, online that is. These are my scrubs. They are just the Cherokee brand. They are the maroon colored. I do have to be at the clinical site at 6:50. I have to be ready to go, stuff dropped off, everything in my scrub pockets that I need. And we really don't need to carry around on the clinical floor as much as we think we do. Now I'm going to the outside area to give flu shots for the rest of my clinical.
Only see us in our dreams, I'm outside. Been thinking that you're all night. Been thinking it ain't right.
My handwritten drug cards. I decided to go ahead and write out my notes, follow the nursing process. Now I'm like super upset. I just opened my email and I got placed in the infant specialty care unit. I'm so excited for this rotation. I feel like I'm ending nursing school on such a good note. I just finished my last simulation.
Baby, I'm outside. Thinking that you're all night. Been thinking it ain't.
Today is my last CRT shift and it's really bittersweet. I finished clinicals today. It hit me yesterday that I'm almost done with school. This whole no motivation thing is like real. Well, I just graduated nursing school. So this past week I had my honors and pinning ceremony as well as graduation and then my graduation party. I'm employed.
She got a job!
Well, I guess first things first, I must say that I knew I wanted to go to nursing school when I was enrolled in my Master's of Bioethics program. This is where I really fell in love with the job description of a nurse ethicist, and I specifically followed an ethicist in the neonatal intensive care unit. I fell in love with her job specifically because of the patient population. She worked with peds and then infants, and I really liked the aspect of giving professional advice when it comes to decision making. I absolutely love that aspect of healthcare, and I know sometimes it can be very sad, but at the same time, that aspect of healthcare really draws my interest, and that's something I know further down the line I want to expand on. This is where I knew I wanted to apply to nursing school, so I really started looking at what I needed. And because I graduated undergrad with a biomedical sciences degree, thinking that I wanted to go to med school, I pretty much had all my prereqs done except for developmental psychology. So while I was in my graduate program, I did enroll in an online developmental psych course through my community college back at home. And I did take an extra class during my grad program, which I never recommend. It was so much work. Once I was done with all my prereqs, I started applying. So the whole application process probably took me about maybe 6 months to a year just to really figure out what school I wanted to go to, where I could see myself. I really started applying to schools in Florida. If you are from Florida, you would know these schools are very competitive. They have thousands of applicants for 30 seats. So that is when I started looking elsewhere. I thought about paying for programs that were very expensive for me to be able to at least stay home, and I only had to travel every so often. But I decided to go ahead and move out of state whenever I got my first acceptance. Now, for the program that I was in, I actually did apply for the spring 2020 cohort, and it's a 16-month program. I applied for that in March of 2019, and I don't believe my application was finalized until May of 2019 because I was waiting for 3 letters of recommendation, which took forever, by the way. When I got my first acceptance in June of 2019, I was visiting my family in Bolivia. For those of you that don't know, I am half Spanish. My mom is from Bolivia, and let me tell you, I was so excited. I was running around my grandma's house, screaming, letting everybody know that I got into nursing school. I was super excited, super happy. So that is pretty much the timeline from June to December of 2019, was getting ready for nursing school. I was working a full-time job. I was saving money. I was just gathering supplies little by little, and I highly recommend getting supplies during the holidays when there are big sales. When my move date came around, I moved at the end of December, and I chose a school where I knew nobody. I had no friends, no family. I was basically starting over for a second time, and I was scared. This time around, I was definitely more scared because I knew how the first time around it affected me, definitely emotionally, mentally. I wanted to come back home. It's just very cold and dreary up in the Midwest, so I knew that to have to put up with another 16 months of that, I was gonna have to keep pushing myself just to remind myself that I was there for a degree. And let me tell you, I got through it, but it was a hard transition. The first month that I was there, I was not only starting a nursing program, going into orientation, I had a lot of personal issues like relationships, and I was not at my best emotionally. I remember going into orientation and even my first week of nursing school crying every day. Story time. One of my professors pulled me aside and asked me if I was okay, and I blatantly lied to her face, telling her that I had allergies because it was so dry up there. And I probably could have confided in my professor. That is pretty much how the beginning of my nursing program went. I went to orientation, I made a couple friends. I pretty much stuck to those friends the whole entire time. I was at school up until spring break when the virus hit. First semester was probably not how anybody would want their first semester to be, but I'm very proud of myself for getting through not only the emotional mess I was in, but also just the physical demand of the unknown. And for some reason, I was able to keep it together. I ended up with really great grades after my first semester, and I made it through. My only problem and complaint that I have from my first semester is testing and test anxiety. When I had to move over to the online component, I wasn't able to go back and look at a question. So if I had to take an extra minute to think about it, I wasn't allowed to do that. A couple of times during my first semester, and this happened throughout the rest of my program, the internet would turn off right before my exam. When things like that happen to me, at least like when it comes to tests, I just either freeze or I burst out into tears. And being honest with y'all, that happened one too many times. To have that type of emotional state before an exam is not healthy. Once I was able to just really get through overcoming any emotional issues that I had or mentally, I started doing a lot better in nursing school. And this is also when I started my YouTube channel. I really wanted to hold myself accountable accountable, and I absolutely loved having my YouTube channel throughout my journey. If y'all have watched me from the beginning, you can definitely see a change, and I can tell you as the year went on, I got more tired. I never reached the point of burnout, but wow, was this program very difficult, and 16 months straight. I don't wish that upon anybody, because now that I've had like a week or two off, I've been slowly starting NCLEX studying throughout this time, and I just want to take my NCLEX and get it over with because I don't want to study anymore. I've done so much studying. I can even tell you throughout like my second semester going into my third semester, I was super excited for peds, OB, and then even community. But I feel like those were the hardest classes for me because I could tell I was getting sick. My immune system was down. I was not performing up to par. And by no means am I saying I did a bad job. That is not it at all. I'm so proud of how far I've come in this program, and I will never beat myself up for not getting straight A's. But I could definitely tell I was getting more tired by this point in time, and I had to be creative and find ways of how I could keep myself motivated, knowing I still had 2 semesters left. And OB was one of my favorite classes, but it was so new to me. I struggled in OB. As much as I loved it, I struggled. Your girl struggled. But when I look back at my first, second, and third semester, I had such a big change. I wish y'all could have seen me from the beginning of nursing school up until the holidays, because I was a different person. People back at home were telling me I was glowing. People back at home were telling me I've changed. I had some people telling me, oh, they had to get used to the new me because I have been a little bit different from when I left previously. Nursing school for me was such a positive change. I pretty much knew who I was going into nursing school, but nursing school really helped me find my voice. Nursing school really helped me build on the confidence I was already building, and nursing school really molded me into the person that I really hoped I could be by the time I graduated. And with that, I'm going to transition into my 4th and final semester. My class schedule looked like leadership Tuesday, Thursday, 8 a.m., followed by med-surg Tuesday, Thursday, 11:30 to 1:20. And then I had my ethics class Tuesdays. Now, leadership and med-surg were not fun. They were really boring classes. Med-surg 2 was all cardiac, and cardiac is not my friend. Ethics, I do have a degree in, so I really didn't have to study that much when it comes to ethics, but I had to put a lot of time and energy into med-surg, and I could just tell I was lacking like the time management. Normally when I was supposed to be studying, I was so exhausted. I was either sleeping or looking at jobs because I was getting so excited to start applying. And I kept having to remind myself why I needed to finish this program so I could graduate, get my degree, and I made it through. Now, most of my 4th semester, I vlogged or at least talked about experiences. So you saw most of what went on during my 4th semester. Really, at the beginning, I had a med-surg 2 clinical on Mondays, and this was the first half of the semester, and this clinical gave me such a great perspective of what it's gonna be like on a 12-hour nursing shift. And of course, halfway through, I started my clinical role transition placement in the infant specialty care unit. I did not take any day in that unit for granted. My preceptor was an angel. She sat down and taught me something new every day. I learned so much about newborn care and just working with infants. Obviously, this is somewhere I hope to be in the future, but of course, I am going to get the experience of wherever God feels like He wants me to be. This whole semester, I do feel like I did lose a lot of motivation. I do feel like I was waiting last minute to do things. I did really have to push myself, and this was something within that I had to do for myself, regardless of how much I did not want to do it. A lot of it was just an internal push. You know, somehow I made it through, and eventually we'll have to go back over that cardiac stuff. You know, one thing I wish I could have done in my 4th semester was have a job, but it was very difficult to find a job in my area because, like I said, many hospitals were not hiring. But I did use that free time to research what I needed to do for the NCLEX, how to apply to jobs. I did spend a lot of free time calling hospitals to talk to their HR departments, to speak with a nurse nurse recruiter to see what I needed to be able to apply to the unit. I really did take a lot of time to do research to really figure out the next steps. I also did want to see how I was going to study for NCLEX. I'm really happy I did all of this because now that I have graduated, I already have my NCLEX study routine pretty much set, and I've been sticking to it, and I'm very proud of myself. And I actually had 4 job interviews already. So by the time I graduated, I had 4 job interviews and actually 2 job offers, which I will get into in a later video because this process has definitely caused a little bit of anxiety in my last semester. If I learned anything from my last semester, it's just to be prepared, make sure you get things done, make sure you keep yourself motivated throughout nursing school, because that last stretch before your degree is so tiring. I'm now starting to get my energy back. I'm now starting to feel a little bit better after this whole 16-month program. Just know that an accelerated program will tire you out, and you need to focus on your self-care, because if you don't, I'm sure at some point I could have ended up burnt out and just not doing well at all. Thankfully, I do have a very healthy mindset at this point in time, which I'm very grateful for. Last thing, today I got my letter of approval from the Florida Board of Nursing, and I did get right after my authorization to test. So I went ahead and scheduled my NCLEX appointment today, which is not until mid-July. It's like right before my birthday. So I am gonna be looking every day to push up my test date, but I do have a test date scheduled, which is nice. So you're probably thinking, well, what's next, Kristen? Well, a lot of my new videos are going to be focused around a job series, as well as my NCLEX study vlog series, and just NCLEX in general. I do have some nursing school related videos that I am still going to post, so if you have any requests, just let me know. And I can't believe I'm here. A year ago, I never thought I would have made it through my accelerated BSN program, and here I am. I'm so grateful for my nursing school with how my experience went, how amazing my professors were, and really just coming out feeling so confident from a program and knowing that I'm going to be confident enough to pass this NCLEX and become a registered nurse, and honestly just get started in my first nursing position. And of course, I'm always here cheering you guys on your nursing journey. I always just want to wish you luck. Feel free to reach out to me at any point in time throughout your journey if you ever need anything.